Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here is the interview question which was asked in one of the big four firms called KPMG, specifically for the consultant role, uh, which includes Power BI, SQL, and Python. So today I'm going to uh, give you the overview of interview which was happened, and I would give you all the questions which was asked and what was the answers for it and everything. So I'm going to discuss everything today. So the question one is how can we write a DAX query for the revenue contribution across all the products? Okay, so this one, as we know, there are two approaches. So I'll give you both the approaches how we can able to do it. So let's jump into the Excel first. So I can explain you the process how we can able to write the revenue contribution in terms of the basic mathematical approaches. Then we can implement the same in the Power BI DAX as well. So let's imagine we are having three products. A contributes $50, B contributes $40, and C contributes $100. So what is the revenue contribution of each and every product? That has to be find out. So first we need a sum of all these products. Then only, so sum is 190. Let's keep this side. So for example, if I want to find the contribution of product A, so first, what is the sum of it to the total revenue? Total revenue is $190. So let's add it. So let me keep that. If you can see here, 26% is showing for it. So product A is contributing 26% to the total revenue. So same thing for the product B and product C. Let's add it. Product B is contributing around 21%. C with a higher revenue contribution with a 53%. Okay, first in this query, so we had taken this revenue of that product, and next total revenue of all the products. That is what we have given in the Excel. So let's jump into the Power BI DAX as well. Let's take a look on the data set and everything. If you can see here, we are having an order details with all the order related information and what type of shipping modes and customer related information, and here is the address of the respective customers and all the product related information with a specific whatever the sales amount and quantity, how much it got purchased, and everything is going to be present in it. So I'll be going to the reporting space. Let me add, we are having a data table here. Let me show you the data modeling pane. So we are having a order detail. So on top of it we have created a data modeling for it. So data modeling with a specific order date into it. So did a mapping to the date of orders, order date, and the date which is in the date table with a one to many relationship. Let's come back to the report view. So let's add a year and quarter filter to the reporting space first. So it could be easier if we want to track or if you want to filter for any data. Let me keep it aside. And now we need revenue contribution of products. So if you can see the order details, so we are having a product name here. Okay, we have to define a revenue for it. So though we have a specific column directly, instead of using a specific column, let's create a specific measure for the sales amount, so that it could be easier to use wherever it is needed instead of writing all the places. So it's better to use the same measure whatever we are going to create right now. Sales amount equals to sum of sales. Let's add this to the visual. So we are having sales amount right now. uh, Now we have to build a revenue contribution for it. Okay, let me take another measure to build a revenue contribution. So as I explained you in the Excel, Okay, it contained two numerics. One is the total revenue of the specific product to the total revenue of all the products. Okay, so first let's take a two variables. One which was already defined, variable S amount, sales amount. I'm just giving a variable for it. Sales amount. We already created a sales amount. Let's use that. And we need another measure, the total amount. Let's keep that total. So for this total, how we can able to create a total? If it is in the Excel, so we can able to calculate everything directly. But whenever we come to the DAX, we need to define each and every conditions for it. So we have to calculate sales of amount for all the products. Okay. Now what do we need to return? Return whatever we have done in the Excel. So right now we have a sales amount here, total amount in this variable. So what is the revenue contribution formula is, as we already discussed in the Excel, which is revenue of a specific product, which is of sales amount variable to the total revenue of all the products, TTL, which is what we have defined as a variable for it. Let's use it and let's bring that into the visual. If you can see here, mostly we can see 0.1 percentage. Let's keep that to the percentage so that we can see everything clearly. If you can see here, 3D Systems Cubes printer, which is contributing around 3.7 contribution to the total revenue. Let's check for the remaining as well. If you can see here, Canon Image is contributing 24.16 contribution in the quarter one of 22. Okay, so this is one method of approach to bring the revenue contribution, and another approach without using any DAX commands, how we can able to get it for the revenue contribution. Okay, revenue contribution is the same of a sales amount, but it was representing in the percentages. Okay, let's bring the sales amount again into the table view. Okay, this is what a sales amount. If you can see the sales amount, if we can right click on it, we can have a uh, you know option called show values as. At this moment we are not following any calculation. Whatever we are, sum of revenue amount, that is what we are calculation. So that is what we are showing right now. If you want to show that the percentage of grand total, whenever we click on the percentage of grand total, it's going to convert it to a revenue contribution, which is in terms of percentages. Okay, so one which is using based on the DAX, and another one is a simple click. Just by right clicking and selecting the grand total of the specific revenue measure, we can able to get the sales amount as well. So we can check whatever the quarter we want, and we can able see here the QB5 QX 3D printer, which is contributing around 10 percentage to the total revenue, and most of the revenue which is par less than the 1% or 2%. So that's how the revenue contribution has to be captured. Now let's go to the second question which was asked in the interview. DAX for ranking our products based on the revenue. How can we write a rank? Let's create a measure for the rank of the products based on the revenue as well. Though we have a revenue contribution and a sales amount, we are picking up a ranking as well. Rank of products was to. So we have to use a rank X and return. So first, it's asking for a table. So rank is going to define and at what context. So at this moment, we don't need to think of all the table, order tables directly, because the context where are we going to use this rank contain only product name as a table context. So let's use product name as a table context. What is a product name? And expression. So expression on what basis the rank has to be defined. So we have to define a ranking based on sales amount. Okay, ordering. So it's a descending order, and ties keep that as a dense for now. Let's add the rank of products to the same visual. If you can see here, this is the one which is contributing more to the revenue, that was captured as a one rank, and two, three, and so on. So that's how the ranking has to be defined. And let's go to the next question. So can we include multiple labels, revenue and contribution, in the bar chart visual labels? Okay, so far as we know that any of the bar chart which can show only specific label which are aligned to the visuals. Just let me come to the Power BI. Instead of using this as a table, let's use a clustered chart for it. See, at this moment we are having multiple products, so let's filter for few. Add a filter for the product groups as well. Let's take example of 3 or 4 products. See, in this visual we are having multiple things in it, so we can remove it whichever is not needed. Let's keep the revenue only for now. Okay, if you can use the data labels, only one data label which is related to the revenue is going to be shown in that visual. Now I want revenue contribution in the same labels in the labels place as well. Okay, let's increase the color. Let me take a full view so that we can get a clear idea understanding on it. So at this moment we are just showing the revenue for it. Let's take a new measure. So though we have already revenue contribution, revenue in the track, so let's take a new measure. So now I want a revenue as well as a revenue contribution for the same visual. Okay, so it's not possible to add both the measures directly. So instead of that, we are creating a formatting of the revenue as well as a revenue contribution. Let's take a revenue first, sales. So this sales amount we are capturing uh, in this manner with just, this is what a revenue I'm just formatting to the dollar with some specific formatting to it. So on top of it, so I need a space between uh, both the revenue as well as the contribution. Let's take a concatenation, which is a fan symbol, and again do a formatting for revenue contribution as well. Revenue contribution, it has to be shown in terms of percentages. So slash dot slash percentage. So this is what just a formatting. Okay, instead of the slashes, it's going to populate a specific number to it. That's it. This is what a label is already created. Now let's go to the data label section, and if you can see here value, instead of sales amount, let's add a label which we have created recently. See, now it is showing a revenue as well as a specific contribution to it. So let's do some more formatting. Okay, so just in a way of understanding perspective, I'm just capturing it as a revenue as a text. I'm just adding a text for it. So revenue is going to be a prefix for it, and for the revenue contribution, it's a it's contribution percentage. So this is the text which I'm adding right now. So that's text is going to be added to the existing numerics. See, now if you can see here, revenue with a $3,000 with a contribution around 7.26% to the total, and another one which is at revenue 1.348 with a contribution of 2.91 percentage to the total revenue. So this is how a label should be created in a single view, in a single measure. This is how we can able to create. So we can define like growth amount, we can define any variance, we can define any other things as well. That's it for the third question. Let's go to the fourth question. How would you define and populate the comments based on each quarter selection? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and YTD. See, for example, just imagine we have a visual based on a quarter selection. It has to change, and it has to, give a heading, and it has to populate a specific comments in the table header or wherever it is needed. For example, if it is we are running on a Q1, so it has to populate Q1 specific revenue or Q2 specific revenue, or what is the revenue of Q4. So that's just a text has to be populated whatever the selection we made. So I'm just taking few examples for it. I'm just trying to build another visual based on shipment mode to the revenue, how it is contributing and everything. Let me take that as a bar chart or a custom color chart. If you can take this and let me add a quarter filter as well. If using a if else condition, it's better to use a switch conditions for it, so we can able to define multiple conditions in it. So let's take a new measure for providing a commentary. So we are going to define a multiple conditions inside the switch. So what are we going to select is the selected value, which is of quarter date table. So whenever we click on Q1, what it has to show, I'm going to define it right now. So whenever I go and click on so D3 selection, and whenever we go and click on Q4, there's some other commentary, whichever is needed, that has to populate. So Q4, Q4 performance is moderate. So this is what it's going to. For example, if you're gonna click on Q1, this is what it's going to show. The Q2 specific, each and every value with a specific condition and a specific commentary we have added. And what if, whenever we gonna come see, if you can see the switch command expression. So whenever we gonna selected the quarters, at what value, whenever we're going to click on value, this is the result it has to show. Whenever we're going to click on Q2, this is what. So each and every value. So right now we have completed all the values with the specific results in it. If we haven't clicked on anything, what it has to show, if we haven't clicked on anything, it has to show for all the quarters, for all the quarters. So let's take that as a YTD Q4 revenue across all products having good performance. Okay, so this is what I'm going to define right now. So this is what a switch command would define all the condition. Okay. After we taking that, instead of sales by shipment mode, if you can go to the header of, we can go to the title for it. If you can see here, title, this was predefined already, so we don't want that. Let's take effects and a custom one, which is of commentary. Whenever we gonna click on commentary, it's going to update based on the selection. So right this moment we haven't selected any other quarters, so that is why it is showing us the YTD Q4 revenue across all products having all perform having good performance. And whenever we're going to click on Q1, see it's not working properly. Why? Because see, if you can see here, quarter having a values which is called quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, but what we have given here in this commentary, if you can see the commentary here, just a Q1. No, this is not a correct one. So it has to be QTR1, QTR2, QTR3, QTR4. Yeah, so we have to verify once whether it is running properly or not. So then we can find the issue. So then we can able to reiterate the approach again. See, at this moment I have clicked on quarter 2. Now quarter 2 is showing properly. Quarter 2 having a degrowth in all products. Whenever I gonna click on Q3, it's going to change the commentary. It's going to Q3 having a decent growth in all verticals. Okay, so instead of that we can use that as a tax card as well. So let's take this as a card, or a card, and let's add the commentary here. So the same one, so we can use it in a multiple ways. So wherever we can able to show in a text format, that can be used. So this we can use it, we can able to use it as a header or whatever it is needed. So we can able to use as a report, you know report commentary, or a specific visual level headers or visual level commentary, whatever it is needed. So based on it, whatever we needed, so we can able to use it in that manner. The fifth question: how would you show all quarters data in a bar or column chart, irrespective of what quarter is selected? Any functionality which was exist in it. See, whatever the quarter we gonna select, the visual has to show all quarters. Okay, so we have to search for what kind of functionality that we can able to use it in that manner. Let's go to the Power BI. Let's take a quarter to it as a filter, and let's take the quarter as a visual, which is a bar chart or a column chart with a specific revenue in it. Let's take that as a clustered column chart. If you can see here, now all these quarters are showing with a specific revenue. Let me enable the data labels as well. See, at this moment, whatever we gonna select, specific quarter is going to show in this specific visual. So whenever we're going to select, are we going to change, so the specific quarter is also going to change. Now I don't want in that manner. Whatever the quarter I'm going to select, it has to show all quarters. Okay, so in the Power BI there is an option called edit interactions. In the formatting pane, so we have an option called edit interactions. So here we can able to disable the interactions between those two visuals. If you can see here, if you want to filter, so at this moment this visual is fixed with the filter selection. There's another option called none. So whenever we gonna click on the none, so no visual is going to be impacted. At this moment, see, it's Q4. So now it's showing after all quarters. Now if you can see, whatever the quarter we gonna select, Q1, Q2, Q3. So whatever quarter we gonna select, it's going to show for all quarters in this visual. Okay, this is what a functionality that we can able to add or implement in the Power BI, so that it could show whichever is needed, whichever is not needed. We can able to make the change however it is needed, and that's all.